YOLO! I don't even know what that means, but everybody says it, so it's got to be cool, right? What you just heard was a movie quote. The first person to DM us at But It Was Aliens podcast on Instagram will not only get a shout out on the show, but will get to pick a quote for a future episode. Hello probers. Today we aren't going to dance around with the intro, we're sliding straight down deep into this one. I'm Moonwalker and he's Greybeard. Normally I'd ask how you are, but I don't have time for pleasantries today. We have probing to do, and this one's juicy.
Hold on. Just before we get straight into it, and whilst we're not dancing around with the intro, I do like how you explain what the movie quote is, because I just straight out throw it out there with no context whatsoever.
Do you really?
Yeah, just at the start of the episode. Have you never listened back to our podcasts?
I heard the first bit, but then for some reason I've never twigged that you've not explained it.
I leave it to the audience to figure out. So we're not going to dance around with your intro.
No, we're not.
You've been to a dance?
Plenty.
When was an actual dance?
No.
Plenty. Thinks about question. No. What about a barn dance? They look like fun.
No, they don't.
Dancing around in hay. There's hay. You're a barn, there's hay.
Does not look
There's
like
music
fun.
and hay. You can roll around in the hay.
Your hamster tendencies are coming back again, aren't they?
You can see a girl and be like, hey.
You start rustling around in the hay, you leave her alone.
Start putting the hay in my cheeks. That'll make a good nest.
Well, today's tasty little file takes us to a place known as Stardust Ranch, Ely, Nevada, White Pine County. Stardust Ranch was established in 2003 and the business is listed in the categories cocktail bars and lounges, restaurant and cocktail lounges, adult entertainment, entertainment brothels.
Son, where are you taking us? I can't wait.
Hold up a second. Today's tasty little file takes us to a place known as Stardust Ranch, Arizona. Picture, if you will, a beautiful open ranch, perfect for raising horses, and by the looks of things, dogs.
Do you need a ranch to raise a dog?
Quite possibly. Depends how many dogs you've got.
So you've confused me to begin with. Where are
How
we?
so? Stardust Ranch,
Yeah.
Arizona.
Oh, I want to go to Nevada. That sounds like a great time. Cocktails? I love me a cocktail. To drink. No.
So I'm going to take you back to 1996. John Edmonds is a therapist and his wife Joyce is a former FBI agent.
Such an older person's name.
What, Joyce?
Joyce, yeah. Just sounds elderly, bless her. Hello?
I wonder how old she actually is.
96.
Let's go for 96. So they have purchased their dream home. A beautiful... Kev, did I mention how beautiful this ranch is?
You just did, yes.
I'll continue. It's a beautiful 9.67 acre lot, 3,436 square foot, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a dream home.
So whoever's in that 5th bedroom is the bitch of the house because they don't get their own bathroom.
That's quite true. So they get the keys
Dream
to...
home for 4 people.
Not the 5th. Go outside, can't use the other bathrooms.
They don't let them use their bathrooms. You got to use the forest. Watch out for the dogs that are being raised.
It's a pile of hay over there.
Where?
So they get the keys to the ranch, and as they enter, they expect it to be empty, but it's full of stuff. It still looks like people are living there, but there's no one to be seen. So they call the realtor and ask what's going on and why is the ranch still full. The realtor apologises and asks for a couple of hours and they'll get the previous family to move their stuff. Begrudgingly, John agrees.
I like that name. John, not
John.
Joyce. John. Strong John. Strong Long John. Everyone with that name in their name should probably be known as Long John. Strong Long John.
Is it like irony? You know how
It's deadly
Tiny
serious.
Lister is called Tiny Lister, but he's like huge?
No. It's completely and deadly genuine and serious and truthful.
Not ironic in the least.
And gospel.
So they arrive 3 to 4 hours
Hold
later.
on.
Holding.
So someone's living in the house.
Well, their stuff is still there.
Like, that realtor's pretty brave. He's just going to go there and get the old tenants to leave. Yet he's sold it.
Oh no,
I'm assuming-
John and Joyce have gone into the house. No one's there, but the stuff is still there.
And that's what I mean. But if stuff's there, surely someone could still be there.
Possibly.
So this guy has sold the place on thinking it's empty and stuff is there. He's going in blind. There could be anything.
Maybe he thought they'd moved, but they hadn't.
There could be like a family of dogs.
He thought they'd actually emptied their stuff, but they've just left it.
The fifth person could be using a bathroom.
It's possible. They've snuck back in. Got my own bathroom now. It's mine. The kingdom is all mine.
I can take a shit on the throne. The throne of the house. Bathroom 1.
Goes around taking a dump in every toilet he can.
Not flushing.
Oh, grim.
That has been christened. I shall leave there to mark my territory. Don't know where the accent came from.
Neither do I. So John and Joyce arrive 3 to 4 hours later and the house is empty. They're surprised with how quick everything had been shifted, but they were happy nonetheless. 5 minutes later, John goes outside and finds that all the shit from the house
I knew there was shit in the house.
had been dumped into the pool.
Wow.
Furious, he calls the realtor to get hold of the previous owners and to ask what the shit they are playing at. But what he finds out is that the previous owners hadn't moved a thing. They thought John had done it.
What? It was the realtor then, wasn't it? Clearly. But can I just say, John and Joyce, it sounds like Joyce is punching.
Well, because she's 96.
She's 96 and John is long, he's hot, he's intelligent, he's intellectual, he's a worldly man.
Are all Johns like that?
Yes.
Are you vouching for all Johns?
I feel like you're going to throw a droopy John at me. Do you have a droopy John up your sleeve?
I'm not throwing anything at you.
Good. Then all Johns are like that. All of them.
Okay. So a few days later, John, pissed off, takes all the things out of the pool and dumps them at the side of the road.
See, John's proactive.
No sooner had he done this, he turns around and is greeted by a disheveled man walking towards him carrying a machete.
Fucking hell.
I know.
You don't belong here. We don't like your kind around here.
The mysterious man asked him what the hell he's doing here, and it's the previous owner's property. Let's call them the Jeffersons, because I don't know their actual name.
They've gone into the future.
So John explains that he's brought...
Shit, that was the Jetsons. Who were the Jeffersons?
Weren't the Jeffersons ones with
I keep thinking-
Bigfoot?
Hendersons.
Henderson.
Shit, now we've both done it. Who were the Jeffersons, damn it? I feel like they were someone. Thomas Jefferson?
That's one of them.
Yeah, he was one of the Jeffersons. There was also Bob, Billy, Joel.
If anyone can remember a TV show called The Jeffersons, or where that family name has come from,
A famous TV family.
then let us know.
Please.
Thanks. So John explains that he's brought the property. The mysterious man tells him that the Jeffersons hired him to keep an eye on their ranch. When John explained that he wouldn't need his services, the man replied, "You'll be sorry." John, a little concerned with what he meant, asked why. Prepared to, but not wanting to shoot him.
This is really aggressive.
It is, isn't it? There's monsters here. Aliens. And I killed them.
Monsters and aliens.
Monsters and aliens.
Oh.
Sorry. Monsters and aliens. So John, not believing him, still asks him to leave.
John was tough.
He does, never to return. Do you believe him?
Do I believe who? John or the old man who hunts aliens and monsters?
The alien and monster.
No, I do not.
Alien and monster hunter.
No, I do not, because monsters don't exist. Aliens, on the other hand, sign me up. But no, he's full of shit. I ain't ever done that monster stuff.
None of it?
Nuh-uh. Oh, what did Joyce and John do for a living?
John is a therapist. Joyce is a former FBI agent.
Are you sure that's not the other way around?
I'm sure that's not the other way around.
Joyce does not sound like the name of an FBI agent.
Maybe that's not her real name.
But was her real name John?
Maybe.
So the man had a machete and John had a gun. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure who's more in the wrong there. Both are carrying weapons.
One's hunting monsters and aliens.
With a machete?
He's a bad
That's all he needs.
mother prober.
What sort of aliens are these? They must be weak-ass aliens that Space Jam jump into their spaceship.
You're going to find out. So below, you'll find a picture of John, just for reference. Can you describe him, Kev?
He looks like a thumb. Literally, look at the palm of your hand, scroll your eyes to either the left or right, depending on which hand it is. Look at your thumb. That's John. John Thumb. I can't really. He's got a grey handlebar moustache coming all the way down to his chin, one of his chins. He's got 3 necks by the looks of it. I've never seen a triple neck. I've seen a double chin, but triple neck? Gosh darn it.
Is this one of the Johns you vouched for?
I knew that's going to come back to bite me. This is Joyce, isn't it?
This is John. This is your John.
He looks creepy the more I look at him as well. Where's his concealed gun? That's a really mincing, menacing smile. So yeah, he's a thumb. To summarise, he is a thumb with hair.
John Thumb.
He's got medium-length grey hair by the looks of it. Grey moustache, as I said. His face looks like it's crushed together. It's quite long and narrow, despite being fat at the same time.
Like a thumb?
Like a thumb, really, yeah. He is a thumb.
Some time had passed, a few years or so, and all had been peaceful. He and his wife had settled and were very happy with their rescue home. You're starting to make me laugh. Then they started to notice lights in the sky, hovering around and then moving off at high speeds. Initially, they didn't want to tell anyone because they didn't want to have the stigma of seeing aliens.
Especially after that warning earlier.
Exactly. Although Joyce was getting scared and wanted to sell the house, John refused and said he wouldn't be scared off his ranch by lights.
Fair comment.
But
John
then-
Thumb is a hard man.
Like all the other Johns. He's one of you.
His 3 necks were not scared.
But then John's dogs started to go missing and then later found mutilated.
Oh, come on. That's not a nice place to raise dogs.
Horses were found mutilated. I think in one description, a horse had a metal pole twisted around its body, sort of like how a boa constrictor would kill its prey.
Crikey.
Eyes and tongues were removed with surgical-like precision, and the animals were also drained of all blood.
How many tongues does a horse have?
Well, one, but like tongues of all the animals, not just...
They got them all.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey. Make a pick up at the same time as that sentence. That's some pretty dastardly mutilation going on there, isn't it?
It is indeed.
My gosh. I thought you said that was a nice place to raise horses and dogs. That's anything but a nice place to raise horses and dogs. That is a place to end the lives of horses and dogs.
I never said it was a nice place. I
Why
just
would
said
they
it was beautiful.
wrap a metal pole around them? What possible benefit does that have? That's so very unnecessary.
Keeps them in place.
Have they never heard of hitching them to a fence? Have they not played Red Dead Redemption? You tie that horse up if you don't want it to go wandering. You don't wrap a pole around it and cut its tongue out.
On their PlayStation 9000s.
Wait, what year was this? I thought it was 96.
These are aliens, remember?
You hadn't said that. You just explained the scene. You never told me who did it. Why would an alien want to wrap a metal pole
Shit,
around?
I'm cutting that out. Edit point. One particular night, they'd gone to bed, but Joyce was snoring, which kept John up. As he laid there, he felt uneasy, like something wasn't right. As he scanned the room, he noticed 3 shadows slowly moving around the room. This scared him so much that he couldn't move, until he remembered
Kung Fu.
that he'd kept a baseball bat next to his bed.
Or baseball.
As he reached for the bat, he felt something lightly tapping his outstretched arm. He grabbed whatever it was with one hand and proceeded to swing at whatever he was holding.
Right, I know you said this earlier on, but they drained them of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure it's not vampires? Like, the metal pole could have been wrapped around to squeeze the blood out.
Could have been.
So we have vampires.
Were you about to say vampire bats?
Yeah, I was thinking of the baseball bat and it just nearly came out. Story of my life.
Probably turns out it was actually one of his dogs that he hit.
The dog tapped him on the arm like,
Yeah.
oi mate.
Like the dog's tail. He could sense that he was uneasy, so came to comfort him. Whack!
I feel like I need to ask, what was the dog's name?
Doesn't have one. So
You tease.
he ends up killing it. Old Joyce can't hear it because she's snoring like a foghorn. John takes the dog outside. Oh shit, not another one. Hides it, then takes it out and mutilates it himself.
Oh, that's a little bit.
Joyce, come and look. Something's got another one of our dogs.
Why did he even bother telling her?
But she knows what's happened. Being a former FBI agent isn't hard for her to figure it out, but goes along with it so that the bat doesn't turn on her.
See, I swear you've got these mixed up. Joyce is snoring like a foghorn.
Yeah.
Surely Joyce is the one who looks like a thumb.
Don't you mean John?
No, that's not John. I'm not having it. You've got it mixed up. Joyce is the man.
Except that that's what John looks like.
Not for me.
Well, what he actually hit, he described as a grey-coloured entity. He hit it multiple times, but after the third strike, the creature vanished, along with its buddies.
Just a magician.
Yeah, like, gone. After that night, shit hit the fan.
Wait, I'm confused. So did he hit a dog, or were you just messing about the whole time?
Oh, I was just...
So he hit a dog. He didn't hit a dog. He actually hit the magician alien.
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he hit them both.
Like Harry Pottered itself out. Oh, Harry Potter's such a terrible film.
Harry Potter is brilliant. How dare you, sir? I will go to war for Potter. Potter.
Potter's terrible.
And
Okay,
Snape.
I will... Let me take that back.
You're going to side with Voldemort here. I can see it coming already. You ain't even got to finish that sentence. I know exactly where you're going.
The Harry Potter films are not bad.
They're brilliant.
Just Harry Potter himself is a whiny little bitch. And I cannot stand whiny little bitches. He cries. Every film he just sits there and cries. Yeah. You're trying to think of one where he doesn't. And you can't.
To be fair, I was trying to think of one where he doesn't, but the only thing that came to my mind over and over was 3.5, 2.25. The bus. You
Sorry,
can't remember
what?
it.
No.
Holy poop, we're watching Harry Potter later.
No, we're not.
We are. That one. You'll love the bus.
I watched these films
2.25. How can you not remember that if you've seen the films?
Once.
It's even in the books.
Never read them.
After we've watched the film, we're reading the books.
No, we're not.
Then we're going to listen to audiobooks. Then we're going to go to Harry Potter World. Then we're going to go to Harry Potter Land. We're going to get wands. We're going to show them to each other. We're going to dress as them.
So the last thing I remember about the Harry Potter books is a friend of mine, I'm not going to say his name, when the last Harry Potter book came out, he'd gone to a house party. He knows who he is. And instead of like having fun, people were sitting there reading the Harry Potter book. So he got a copy of the book, opened it up to the last page and started reading the last page out.
He was that guy.
He was that guy.
Oh, dear.
I want to call him a hero, but
If that was a TV
if someone
show,
done that to me in Game of Thrones,
you would be the angriest person I know if someone did that to you.
I would have ended their life in seconds.
There are two people on this planet I know that hate spoilers more than anything else in the world. You are one of them, and I think you might be the superior hater of spoilers.
Quite right.
Hell hath no fury like a spoiled Granville.
I will cut you off, like cut you out of my life if you spoil some shit for me.
shank you.
Especially if I'm looking forward to it.
We should probably get on with the story at some point, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Is it Magician Aliens?
Magician Alien.
Oh, Harry Potter.
So after that night, shit hit the fan. These little bastards started turning up when they liked, sometimes making themselves known, and sometimes in the background of videos, flipping them off. Okay, that
What?
last sentence may not have been 100% accurate.
The back of whose videos I was about to
The
ask?
video I saw does not show them flipping them off. So
There's a
John,
video?
John likes to, I don't know if he's on Skype with someone, but he's showing it as
By the looks of him, he probably is.
evident. And in the background, there's like something circled, and then you just see this little thing peering from around the side,
Oh, not like the Boo video.
just like the Boo video.
Oh no, John!
So-
I vouched for you, John.
I was gonna put it in,
Yeah.
but it was too much hassle for that short clip,
Okay.
and I just was not willing.
Fair
to
enough.
go for it.
I don't feel like I need it at this point, but I might change my mind later.
If I asked you to describe a grey for me, what would be your first thought?
Slightly shorter than us, slim, grey, big eyes, big heads, in fact, but then small lower head. They often in depictions have less fingers than us, but I would reckon if they were highly evolved, they might have more, but I'm going on what I would expect rather than what popular culture image is. Regardless, I feel I've given you enough at this point. I'm going to start rambling any minute about how they're hairless.
Well, bingo, my friend. That's exactly what John saw. He said they were small in height, had long skinny limbs, big bulging eyes. Now, the first thing that came to my head when he said this, if you would like to scroll down until you see said picture.
So this is what came to your mind?
That's what came to my mind.
I'm unfamiliar with this image, but it has tits.
You don't know Roger from American Dad.
I don't watch American Dad. I apologise.
Kev,
Do you know how long it takes to write this podcast?
you've never seen American Dad.
I don't think I have.
That's more of a disgrace than me not liking Harry Potter.
It's definitely not. People will literally magic wand you for not liking Harry Potter.
And what's that going to do?
Make you shit your pants.
Nothing. It's going to do nothing.
Have you checked your pants lately?
Yes, I have. Oh,
might wanna
brown
check them again.
noise, those little bitches.
Okay, brown noise will compete with a magic spell. I'll give you that.
And I would win.
The brown note. Oh, what an amazing episode.
Oh, I
Right.
really want to find a recording of the brown note, put it into this podcast, and see if it works.
All 4 listeners would never listen again. We'd be betraying their trust severely.
But they'd have such a great story. I think how many more people they would get to listen to it.
If anyone listens to this and poops their pants, let us know. We will share the story. You could be mini famous.
And then get all your friends to do it too. And then they'll get their friends. And then they'll get their friends. And they'll get their friends. Everyone will be shitting their pants. And we would have started it all.
As an example, not that we obviously live there, but if every single person in London pooped their pants at the exact same moment, do you think there'd be a real strong smell as you walked through the city? Because there's an awful lot of people in
It
London.
would,
Isn't
but-
there like 8 million or something?
What I'm thinking, you know, I can't remember, what was the film that brought it out? Inception.
Oh, that's one of my favourites.
You remember the trailer for Inception where it just goes, dum.
Yes, that sound plays throughout the film.
Yep, that sound is going to echo throughout London.
That's the brown note.
I really want to find that note. So,
Sir, this is an alien. An alien.
John believes that it's these beings that have been mutilating his animals. At one point, he even flat out asked them, "Yo, dog, cat, bird, horse, grey looking muff. Why are you fucking up my shit?" With a question like that, you can understand why he never got our answer.
Dog, cat, bird, horse, grey looking. They all look somewhat different, particularly birds and horses.
Oh, they're all graded, John. He's never spoke to them, and that they're pure evil.
That seems slightly... In fact, that seems a slight jump. He's never spoke to them, yet he's aware they're evil? How would he be aware about speaking to someone?
Do you trust him? He is a job. You vouched for him.
He's not, he's Joyce.
Nope. You vouched for him. Take his word as gospel.
Alright, this is a yes. It's aliens. I know it, John.
After that incident, the Greys continued to be little dicks to the Edmonds and the animals on their ranch.
Completely not surprised by that.
Me neither.
I'd be a little dick to him if he was calling me a horse, bird, dog, cat.
Now, as the incidents become more and more frequent, and these dicks kept turning up in gangs, there was never just one. They had to bring the pack.
Well, they're little.
The wolf pack, as you would.
Oh! Dun, 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 dun.
I wish we could play the NWO wolf pack right now.
To be fair, I'd quite like to play the NWO music. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow.
Wouldn't really fit, but...
Well, if they're walking around in a gang, it might.
Ah, good point.
They've only got to come out with a bike, haven't they? And they're basically there.
Do you reckon they've got cans of spray paint and they just...
Cat, dog, horse, bird, spray painted everywhere.
They spray AWO over everything. We should get AWO shirts.
Alien World Order.
Yep.
AWO would... Would it be an... Why would it be a wolf for the Alien World Order?
Because they're a pack.
What depends on the type of alien.
That is a
What
good
would a
point.
grey do?
Would they though?
Some.
Do you reckon they'd put up like the Spock hand sign?
The V.
Vulcan thing?
When I see someone throw that up, I think a chopper's coming, to be fair. Vulcan, chop!
So John decided it was time to upgrade his weaponry. Because you remember, he had a baseball bat at first.
Well, he had a gun earlier on.
That's quite true. What weapon would you go for in this situation?
I'm going to go against better judgment and think of the man earlier on who had a machete. These guys never troubled anyone when he was around with a machete. So I'm going to go for the man with a machete. He is my weapon. He's like my Pokemon.
You're using...
I choose you, Machete Man.
Do you give him a little ball?
A big ball.
Do you feed him?
He doesn't need feeding. He hunts horses and dogs.
And monsters that he's hunting?
They haven't seen them on these lands before.
What if it was him
Why is
that's
it
been
called-
mutilating?
Why is it called Stardust Ranch? Ranch.
It's the name of the ranch.
Jolly Ranchers, Ranchers.
No?
I thought you had to bust out a dance move there. Stop to look to the side. I said Jamona.
Start moonwalking across the room.
The moon. What would you go for?
That's a very good question.
I've got the man with the machete, so you can't take him.
There's two weapons that come to mind. One of them
Is a man, and you can't have him. The other's a machete.
Is-
You can't have that.
a really good weapon, except you're going to need petrol. So flamethrower is my first choice, but big, heavy, bulky.
Runs out,
Runs
then
out.
you're buggered. Mm-hmm. Bad choice. Might even kill yourself.
My second weapon of choice
It's petrol.
is a wrench.
Wrench. It's reliable, and you can do some DIY as well.
Have you played Bioshock? That wrench was powerful.
Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't go for like a knife.
I was
So you
thinking,
can take people's tags.
took enough tags in my time. My knife is retired.
So between us, we're going for a flamethrower, a wrench, and a man with a machete.
I was going to go lightsaber, but
Screw the Majestic 12. This is a team ready for war.
can you guess John's next weapon of choice?
So he's used a gun thus far.
Well, he
and
hasn't used a gun thus far. He's had one.
He had a gun and he had, what was the other one?
Baseball bat.
Gun and baseball bat. So he's going to want something, probably not a gun. Instead of a bat, is it going to be like a sword?
Close. 2
swords.
Well, John's next weapon of choice was a very ancient and effective one. He got nunchucks.
A nunchuck's Japanese.
I think they're Chinese.
Okay.
How do you think he used them, Kev? Too late. He bonked them on the head with them.
I was just about to think of something. You too late before my brain had even got going. The gears are revving.
So, in the interview that I listened to, where he explained these ancient and effective weapons, because the interviewer had never heard of nunchucks,
That interviewer was a bitch.
she was. His exact words were, I bonked them on the head with them. And then he proceeded to do like a little mini, not like a demonstration, but he just moved his hand like bonk.
Just bonk. Just a little wrist flick. Didn't even properly swing one. Like,
Just a bonk.
did that do enough damage?
Well, clearly not,
Is this where the story ends? I
because he
guess?
then upgraded to a butane lighter and a can of hairspray.
That's fairly an upgrade.
It's gone flamethrower.
That's probably going to blow his arm off before it does any damage to anything else. Kids, don't do that.
Yeah, don't
It's
do
dangerous.
that at home.
And also, if you're a kid, you probably shouldn't be listening to this.
Definitely should not be listening to this.
We say bad words and talk about people who do bad things to aliens.
But thank you for listening.
Tell your friends.
All of them.
Get the whole school listening. Tell the teachers, but also don't tell the teachers.
After using the butane lighter and a can of hairspray, he then utilised this method. John had suffered a severe head injury in the 1970s,
Explains a lot.
which left him with long-term damage.
Bless him.
He doesn't suffer fear. So what happens is it's like a fear paralysis. Like he doesn't like
So he doesn't freeze, fight or flight.
at all.
So he has no fight, flight or freeze. Sorry, he has no freeze.
Has no freeze.
Right, I'm with you.
He uses that.
If that's all he's come away with following brain damage, he's pretty lucky. Jesus.
So the aliens don't know this.
Oh no.
He fakes it until they get close enough, and I quote, when they come to try lay hands,
He's gangster.
they get the big surprise.
He's proper gangster.
Those are his exact words.
What does he sound like?
You'd expect him to sound off, but he sounds normal to a point where I don't think I could do an impression. When they come to lay hands,
When they come to lay hands, they get the big surprise. Story over.
that turns sexual.
John
all of a sudden.
1, aliens nil.
When- Now I see why it's called Long John. When they come to try to lay hands, they get the big surprise. Clearly not able to finish them Mortal Kombat style with his bare hands, he turned to a new method to dispatch of these little assholes. He turned to the honourable samurai sword.
Yes, I knew it. I swear I'm psychic.
And it's with this weapon of choice that he has killed the most greys.
The most? Mm-hmm. How many has he offed? How many got the big surprise?
You'll find out a little later.
Oh, no. John.
Now, what prompted such a drastic change in tactics, you may ask?
What prompted such a drastic change in tactics?
Thank you for asking. Both John and Joyce have both experienced times where they're paralysed and unable to move or scream.
What? He doesn't suffer from paralysis.
Fear paralysis.
But he doesn't suffer from it.
Who said it was fear?
Well, he implied it. They've turned his greatest weapon against him. They're going to give him the big surprise. They're going to lay hands.
Both have woken up with bruises on their inner thighs and chest.
Why is it?
Clearly they laid hands. Puncture wounds on their bodies and deep indentations. Missing time has also been reported in which they believe they have been abducted.
Isn't sleep missing time? I don't like the way you looked me in the eye as you did that. Stop looking at me. I need to turn around.
I reckon that's how the aliens looked at John.
He's going to lay hands.
Well, these little greys had a thing for Joyce.
No.
She was targeted for this nightly abuse more than John, and has at times been levitated.
Yeah.
So much so that John has taken to handcuffing her to the bed to stop her being abducted.
Oh, come on. Bruises on the inner thighs, handcuffs. It's just, dirty, dirty John.
Thought he was trustworthy because he was a John.
He used to be until he took the injury and it changed his personality. You can't judge him for that.
Weaseled out of that one, didn't you? On one,
Did I? Did I now?
yes.
Are you arguing?
No. On one such occasion, she was being levitated into a beam of light. How did he get her back? He opened fire with an AK-47.
Where the hell did he get an AK-47? Who's giving this man all these weapons?
You can just buy guns in America. America!
Has he got a weapon shop around the corner?
Maybe so. I mean, there's a gun shop, like, pretty much
On every
everywhere.
street corner.
Yeah.
So the saying goes. America, stop selling guns, please.
What's their,
It's clearly not a good thing.
What's their big, like, supermarket chain? Is it Target?
Walmart.
Walmart, that's it. You can walk into Walmart and get guns.
You can probably walk into some corner shops and get guns. But just, who cares about the tax money? Just stop it. You're rich enough.
One particular night, the dogs, Ricardo,
I knew it had a name!
started going mad, barking like crazy. John already knew what time it was, grabbed his sword and leapt to action. A fight ensued, and John was able to impale one with the sword. When he drew the sword back, a chunk of flesh came with it.
What? Does he still have the flesh? Also, Now, when you say John, I immediately think of Little John. Okay! What? Yeah! What? Well, yes, thank you.
Now I know what you're thinking.
Do you now?
Yeah!
What?
Surely there's evidence if he's killed one.
That is exactly what I was thinking, yes.
Well, he hasn't only killed one, he's killed 19.
I'm not sure if I'm impressed or disappointed. Because when you said they were showing up in gangs like the Wolfpack,
Dum, dum, dum.
I kind of got in my head that he'd killed 247 at that point.
No,
19.
only killed 19. Well, I say only.
So, with a flamethrower, a samurai sword, nunchucks, and an AK-47, he's only off 19 sons of
His
guns.
bare hands.
The nunchuck of doom.
Yep, only killed 19. I keep saying only. He's killed 19 aliens.
You're siding with me and you don't even know it.
Okay. And the evidence? Well, you're going to have to wait till next week.
What?
Because this
No!
is a two-parter.
No!
Mother probers.
No! And right, no, not there.
Right there.
Oh, not there.
You're going to have to wait.
You swine. You dirty, dirty non-John.
I am not dirtier than this John. Pointing at you.
I'm grey.
Well, unfortunately, probers, you're going to have to wait. So
Bitch.
thank you for taking time to listen to this week's file
F you.
and the podcast in general.
Not you, audience.
You can follow us at But It Was Aliens Podcast on Instagram, But It Was Aliens on Twitter, or if there's a visit you'd like us to probe, you can email us at butitwasaliens@gmail.com. Think your food was made by an alien? Think your goldfish is an underwater alien?
Don't give a crap.
Think that your favourite podcaster is an alien? Hashtag
Oh, you've got me again.
probe.
now. You might want to say hashtag probe again because I just talked right through it.
Hashtag probe.
Twat.